And once again, as we have now adjusted our technical difficulties, we had technical difficulties, so we straightened that up. And we're going to continue now. In fact, we're going to just start from the beginning. We go to Facebook and we go and welcome those who are now on Facebook Live. We're now on Facebook Live. So we had technical difficulties, and we made an adjustment or two. So now we should be ready to continue. Although we just start from the beginning, since this is being recorded, purpose. And as we did previously, we're going to once again make a note of today. Today, the date of both calendars. The first calendar of today, our calendar today, is the 16th day of the 11th month of our solar calendar. And today is also recognized as the 6th day of our 7-day week.
Yeah.
The 6th day of our 7-day week. That means at sundown tonight would be our Shabbat. Sundown tonight would be the 7th day in our Shabbat, our day of rest. But again, it's the 16th day of our 11th month of our solar calendar. Solar. And today is also being recognized by this world, who is observing today as Thursday, January 26th, 2023. That's 26 days into what they call the new year. And that's for the record. And today I'm going to read what my social soul posted on social media's website that is world renowned today as Facebook. And a little over 6 hours ago, that was posted out. It's about 8 hours now. Posted at around 6 o'clock this morning, according to their clocks. 6 o'clock. We start around 10 o'clock. Actually, we started around closer to 11 or 12. It took us 6 hours to post it. Total of 47 chapters. 47 chapters. 177 pages long or short. Single space. And that's prophetical. That's a prophetical testimony that was bound to be spoken in Hebrew by my special soul. However, we are going to speak it in a different language today, known as English. Although Hebrew was the original, it was originally hand drafted or handwritten, should you prefer, in Hebraic, and then sealed in the scrolls of who this world of theology and its theologians have named, I quote, Micah, end quote, the book called Micah, and added citizenship for that name. They added a citizenship on that name that has been recorded as, I quote, the Morithite, the Morithite, the Morithite. It's spelled from left to right, Morasthite, Morithite, whatever that is. And that was then made available to the nations of this planet in all of its idioms of today, that book, Micah. And one book in particular became a supplement of the book called Micah, that was same scrolls, written at different time periods, that they have since named Revelation. revelation they put and placed at the back of their Bibles. Though the question is, how could it be revelations and they had not been revealed yet?
Right.
Why would they name a book Revelation as if they had revealed what was revealed? It made it a revelation. And that's ludicrous because the only one who could reveal what was sealed is the one who sealed it and hid in Midrash and Codex, crypto. The revelation that was actually sealed in Hebraic to be loosed at a certain time. And that time is not until now. So how could theologians of the world come along for the past 2,000, 3,000 years and think they can decipher what was sealed? Especially leave the world to believe in the mark of the beast is 666, when they hadn't studied the word in English, beast. That's something to think about. Though it is now translated into the English's idiom that I'm going to read in a few moments. And I'm going to translate some and reveal some, loose some, just as my celestial soul written or wrote it by my very same celestial soul. I'm not terrestrial. I may look terrestrial, but I'm not terrestrial. I'm celestial. Using a terrestrial vessel, a body. You're going to hear that. You're going to see my terrestrial body, but you're going to hear my celestial soul. As my Ab gave me a vessel, a human vessel, as it pleased him to do so, just as he did you. You have what I have, and I have what you have. That's called a body. Terrestrial. Some were made, some were created, and some are formed. Some were reproduced, and some were just there. And today some are being seduced. Although that what was posted that I'm about to read started some 220 hours ago. That would be going back 8 days and some more. As I sat in this very same chair, the very same chair right now, in the same spot that my terrestrial body is being supported by right now, as I am addressing this planet as we speak. You see one body in front of you, but there's two. One is inside that you cannot see, but you can hear it. The scientists and theologians and astrologers of the world, they know what I'm speaking of. Even those who study deep of the Masons, the Masonic lodges, societies, the Bohemian societies, the Moose lodges, the Masons and Freemasons, the popes and the rabbis, the clergy of the world, they all who studied deep theology, they know what I'm speaking of. They can relate to that. Both spiritual, celestial, and physical. Nevertheless, I'm going to read 100% of what was typed by my fingers in that testimony. Although from time to time I may pause for a moment to emphasize something of the subject, that we may have to resort to a book or two, dictionary, encyclopedia, Bible, or concordance, just to make a confirmation that is true. I posted the truth. It's up to you to accept it or reject it. It is also up to my Father to accept you or reject you. It is totally up to you. You have free will. And as someone mentioned last week, you were born with free will, but you are bound to my will. You were born to free will, but you are bound to my will. as well as my Father's will. I mean, you can do what you want to do, but my Father, I ask to let His will be done in earth as it is above in New Jerusalem, in Jerusalem. So you do what you want to do. Go where you want to go. Be who you want to be. Eat what you want to eat. Drink what you want to drink. Live how you want to live. You'll also die how we want you to die. You cannot die the way you want to die. You will die the way we want you to die. If you think you're committing suicide, then that's how we want you to die. Because that's what you're going to do, commit suicide. If you do not come to me. And that's the truth. And that is period. So with that said, we're going to read this because for particular people that's on this planet, my people, my own people of Judah, they will not read. They prefer to watch television or go to a movie, or go to a church, a basketball arena, a football stadium, a concert with their favorite artist, singing artist, or movie star, or comedian, and watch, sit up for 4 hours or more and be entertained by foolishness and lies. Go to church and sit up and listen to more lies. They'd rather do that than to read. The same people, the same tribe, are so-called African Americans, black people, colored, Negroes, the same ones of slavery, who I sprang out of, right here in Miami, Florida, right here in the United States, where I am sitting in this chair of subject right now. That's where I am with my people. Judah brought his country of slavery. They are the only people on this planet that do not like to read. They do not like to read. The question is, why is that? Why is it that my people of Judah do not like to read? They like to fight, shoot, steal, rob, kill, murder. So why is it that my people, the 4th tribe with the 12 tribes of my own people, that are of the nation that consists of 11 of the tribes, and are known today as Israel, the nation of Israel today, why is it that they do not like to read in the English language? They do not like to read. And if you're trying to answer a question, then never mind your efforts of trying to answer that question, because I already did. I answered the question. I answered the question as I asked the question. And the answer is because I just told you that they speak English. And that's why they don't like to read English, because they speak English. Could you imagine? Sounds a little confusing, doesn't it? So why do they like to speak English? They don't like to speak English. Why is that? They don't like to speak English. The answer to that question is because they have Hebrew souls. Their souls are Hebrew. And those in the Middle East today would call themselves Israelis. Their souls are not Hebrew. Their souls are a Debrew. They were Debrew. They became Debrew when Ishmael was given his own blessing. Although his father was Hebrew, Abraham, but they became Debrew. I'm sure you heard of Debrew before, haven't you? If not, then that means I just created it, as I did in the beginning. As I always create things, Debrew. Debrew means they have been detached from the covenant. They have been detached from the Hebrew. Now they are Debrew because they do not have the covenant that was given to Isaac. Isaac was given and blessed with the covenant to become the chosen of the God of the Hebrews, not the God of Ishmael. They created Islam by Muhammad ibn Abdullah way back in the 14th century. Muhammad ibn Abdullah, before the days of Christ, was Islam under a different name. So my people of Judah that speaks English, that has Hebrew souls, they do not like to read. And that means that their English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Brazilian slave masters for the past 468 years, they changed their language from Hebrew into whatever language they speak. That means they changed their language, the Hebrew language, to English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Brazilian. But they did not change and cannot change their souls. They can change their names, both first name and surnames. The English cosmetologists can change their facial appearance of makeup. The homosexual slave masters of all nations can change their natural use into that which is against their own nature as a man. Lying in bed nude with another man. And their women, our women, lying nude in bed with another woman. The white slave masters of all of Europe, the European nations, can cause my people of Judah to change worshiping their own true and living Hebrew God into worshiping a false God that the European slave masters made out of wood, stone, paintings, photographs that has no life in them. The white European slave masters of my people of Judah for the past 468 years can cause my people of Judah to kill and murder up one another, to hate one another, and to the love of many of my people of Judah will wax cold. The white European slave masters of my people, over my people as slave masters for the past 468 years, of all the United Nations of Europe, all of them have my people. And that includes Ukraine, Russia, France, Germany, England, Spain, Greece, and Turkey, just to name a few. Can cause my people of Judah to change their moral minds of total morality into a mind of corruption and reprobate and filth. But with those white European devils cannot change from the naturalization of my people of Judah is their celestial souls that are all mine. According to Ezekiel chapter 18 and verse 4. Just as the leopards whose spots they can never change. As I said a few moments ago, I'm going to read 100% of what was typed by my own fingers in that testimony. I'm going to read it. Just as I am doing right now, in case you hadn't noticed it, just right now that I'm reading. I'm reading like a teleprompter, a celestial teleprompter that's used in heaven between my Father and myself, unlike the one that's used by the President of the United States. Though my teleprompter is much more higher than his, that's produced by the much higher advisor, the supreme advisor of the universe. They call, and I quote, God, end quote, G-O-D. And as it was recorded in their Bibles that I would return one day in the last days, well, here I am. And I'm here to do just what I am going to do right now. That's read in a book called John, chapter 16, verse 13, and that's what you'll have to do. Grab a Bible to begin with. Grab a Bible and turn to John 16, 13, and that is what was promised that I would do, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's why you see me reading John chapter 16, verse 13. And once you find that, I would like for one of the angels that I brought here with me, that was also found and sealed in the book that they call Revelation, whose voice you will hear. You will not see the appearance. It does not say in the book called Revelation, or read in the book called Revelation, that you will see the voice of another angel. It will say that you will hear the voice of another angel. And that's what you're about to do. Hear, read.
John chapter 16, verse 13, quote, "Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come." End quote.
And notice in that verse, it says, is come. It says, shall come. That means by the time this is being revealed by that same Spirit of truth, he'll be here. He will point out to you that he's come. He is come. And that's the Spirit of truth, not the truth. My Father is the truth. My Father is the truth. You're going to see a few moments, some photographs that were taken of him while he was here with us in that vessel, whose name you do not know. You never knew his name. He used an appellation. Even one that was known back in the days of Egypt, he used. You'd think you call it Moshe. It's not his name. No one ever knew his name. Why do you think he kept going from name to name while he was here? He was not going from name to name. He was going from appellation to appellation. Only the Son knows his name to reveal it in the last days. When this is come, of John 16, 13, when he is come, then the name will come with him of the God of the Hebrews. And I revealed it. So with that said, as you read that, now one of many reasons why I'm on this teleview, I'm on a teleview right now of my body, is so that those that violated the wall of Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 5 will be addressed today. Did you hear me? You must hear what I'm saying. Don't listen. I came on, we giving you a blessing by reading for you. It's very easy to sit and listen unless you're deaf. And if you're deaf, watch my lips if you read lips. If not, they have a CC on the view on your computer, closed caption. If you can read, see, if you're deaf, you can read. If you are blind, then you can hear. One of the two. So if you're deaf, you can read the teleprompter, you can read on the screen what's being said. And if you're blind, you can hear. That's much easier. So one of the two. You got it? All right, so I'm going to say it again. One of many reasons I'm here on this teleview of my body is so those that violated the wall of Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 5 can be addressed today. Which is one of the reasons why that testimony was written by my hands today. That's also prophetical. It's a book called Revelation. That testimony I wrote and posted is in Revelation. Yeah. So read Zechariah chapter 2, verse 5. Did you find it?
Can't.
Give time for others to find it?
Can't.
Okay.
Zechariah chapter 2, verse 5, quote, For I, saith the Lord, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her.
So, what does it mean? Those who thought that they could decipher the book, especially Revelation, this is another supplement that was placed in Revelation. That wall. The wall that you was reading in Revelation chapter 21 is not what you think it is. This wall of Zechariah is likened to it, that is an allegorical as well as symbolic, as well as literal. Or did you know that? No, you did not know that. If you knew that, it would be no need for me to be here to tell you the truth. Would you read English? He just told you you're English slave master. Have you believing in some wall? And that's all they gave you. They gave you a wall and transliterated it into English, and they gave you a reference in Hebrew that takes you right back to the wall. Now, if you look at your concordance that you'll also need as you follow this testimony, under Strong's Concordance reference H2346, then that's all they gave you. They only gave you a wall. And we don't need to know that. Don't you see it? Look at it. It's there.
Yeah. Wow.
And that they give that wall the majority of the time. They even gave you H1477. Just look at it for a moment. They give you another wall. All right? 1443. They give you another wall. And these walls are structural, concrete.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
But why so many walls? The wall that they did not give you is the one they did not know. Zechariah is a book of codex. And crypto is cryptic. They didn't know what was is. The one who gave and shown this to Zechariah that you'll find in chapter 4. Go to chapter 4. Let's see who that was. Read verse 1.
Zechariah chapter 4, verse 1,
Mm-hmm.
quote, And the angel that talked with me came again.
He did what?
Came again.
In order for an angel to come again, that must mean he'd been there before.
Right.
He must have been here before.
Mm-hmm.
And here he is back again, talking with you. Or would you not consider that being the same angel? What did he do? What did this angel do when he came again and spoke with him or talked with him?
And with me.
See, read that again. Go back to read verse 1 again.
Yeah, verse 1. And the angel that talked with me came again.
That did what?
Talked with me.
Talked with me, not talked to you.
Right.
That means an angel was there with him who looked just like he did and didn't know he was an angel. Now that fulfills Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 2.
Yeah.
Be not forgetful to entertain strangers. Why? For there are some have entertained angels unawares. Look just like you. That right?
Yeah.
Okay. So read that again and then read verse 2.
And the angel that talked with me came again and waked me as a man that is wakened out of his sleep. Verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And said unto me, What? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps, which are upon the top thereof.
Okay, now, when you go, this is Zechariah. And what I gave you a few moments ago in the references, they took you to a wall back in chapter 2 and verse 5. If you look at your concordance, you'll see that same reference number next to wall in Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 5. Why is that? Because they did not know what wall this is. Which is likened to the wall in Ezekiel is a wall. To measure the wall. I'm the measure of that wall in Ezekiel, which is the same wall in Zechariah. That wall is hidden under H7303, I believe it is. 7023. Look at 7023 in your concordance. Do you see it?
Open it up now. Can this wall is of house or chamber?
No, it's not. How could that be? It's supposed to be a wall. Read it again. It's what?
Under A, it's wall of house or chamber. In parentheses.
Okay, well, they're trying, which is true. But you go now, we're going to go to the etymology of that. But the wall that they gave you here is of a house or chambers.
Chamber.
So let's go with the part of the house. And because the chambers they couldn't get inside of. See, the house is the house of Israel. The chambers of this wall was inside the temple of love that was in Miami of Florida. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Let's do it again. The wall of the house is the house of Israel that they belong to, of those involved. Now, the chambers they could not get into because they were his private chambers of those of the wall. Now, when you look at Zechariah chapter 2, verse 5, right, you see a wall. Now, go to etymology, and let's see, and that'll be 6979, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So go to that. And what does that tell you?
It tells you to bore, dig for water.
So those that were of the house of Israel, they got cool. Does it have that meaning there too? They became cool.
Yeah, to make or keep cool.
Yeah, they kept cool. They were so cool until you couldn't tell them nothing. These were some cool children of the house of Israel. So cool until they wouldn't even allow it inside the secret chambers of the one who brought them to the house of Israel, who created them to become part of the house of Israel. So they became so cool until you can't even speak to them today. They're too cool.
Wow.
And they destroyed that wall. They destroyed that wall and made another wall that they are living around today. It's supposed to be sheltering them. And if you don't know what I'm speaking of, if you want to know who I am, although I'm not here to convince anyone. See, the devils know who I am. That's why they don't mind slipping me into YouTube next to all those other false prophets as if I'm just another ordinary prophet or false prophet. They don't mind me being in there.
Mhm.
They don't mind me being a part of Facebook and putting up posts so I can be like you and look like you. But when you see the post I posted about 8 or 9 hours ago, you're going to discover that ordinary man can do that, especially write 47 chapters and then put them and segment them for the segment the last to be first and the first last. Just like I said I would do when I come back. You don't know what I meant by saying the first shall be last, the last first. That goes for a number of reasons, which includes me posting my post prophecy on Facebook that you got to put the first last, you got to put the last first in order to read it verbatim to go down as I descended down from above to come down to be with Yehuda today. But they don't know what that wall is. They too cool. So what you have to do now is get something to write with, something to write on, to take notes. That you follow us just like you always do when we come on. And you got to write on your piece of paper, wall, W-A-L-L, from left to right. You got to write down wall, you got to write down wall, W-A-L-L. No, write down a wall, because it's a wall. It's a wall, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so write it down. Just as you see it in Zechariah chapter 2, verse 5. Is that how it is? Is that how it reads? I think I'm looking at my Bible again. Quote, for I, saith the Lord, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and would be the glory in the midst of her. What kind of fire? I mean, this wall of fire round about. I mean, there's some fire around this wall right now. They cannot see it.
Mhm.
It's round about. And this fire round about this a wall are all of those who think they're cool and doing what they want to do, what they think is right in their own eyes today. I hope that you were being obedient and you wrote down a wall. Right? So write down this a wall. That's again from left to right, from left to right, left to right. W-A-L-L. W-A-L-L from left to right. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of wall is this? It just said it in
A wall of fire.
a wall, huh?
A wall of fire.
A wall of fire. That means that this wall of fire, right? This fire was fired. Those who were cool with the water, they took their cooler water and put that fire out. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In the house where they were of Israel, where they were cool, they were so cool until they took that wall of fire that was around them and put it out with their cool water. But they couldn't get inside the chambers of the one who brought them there to the temple. You wrote down wall? Okay. Now write it down again. Again. But this time with only one L. Write down a wall, but only with one L. Now you have A space W-A-L. Is that correct? All right. That's symbolic. That's an allegory. Using English symbols. English symbols. Now, did you write it? You have A, right? And you have W-A-L opposed to, you have W-A-L opposed to W-A-L-L. Why? Because this wall of W-A-L-L, when one of those L's left, so did the wall.
Mm-hmm.
The A that you wrote before the wall is Alpha, right? Which is symbolized as Ma'ab, who identified himself as John the Baptist in 1986 in that same chambers that you saw in the meaning of wall. in that chambers in 1986, he identified himself as John the Baptist, right? So he ascended on May 7th, 2007. And when he did, that A was no longer there. That A became part of the W of the wall.
Mm.
So those who were there, right, with the wall, who were cool, they put the fire out that was round about them. And that means they got close to the W after one of those L's ascended. So that's why you only have one L, because the other L is here. But one L ascended. So when the other one L ascended, so the A. So now you got to take that, you got to write it down again. You got to put AWAL close together like that. So you can see where that wall is of those who left. And they became a wall.
That's exactly what it is. Yep.
They have now become a wall from the temple of the house of Israel. They are now a wall from Miami. See, AWOL, when you look at the dictionary, go to your dictionary. AWOL, it means I got one. It says absent without authorized leave. Go ask those in the military. They are now AWOL. They have 6 of the definitions, but look in the Merriam-Webster dictionary for AWOL. They're going to give you AWOL, AWAL. It's the same wall. The AWOL is the circle of fire round about. Now, the meaning of AWOL is absent without leave, broadly absent, often without notice or permission. They did not even have permission to leave. Why? Because they took it upon themselves to do so. They did what they wanted to do. It was their choice. They said they chose to leave. They said that you're born with choice. How do they recognize that wall now? What's it say? You see the definition?
Yeah.
Do you see AWAL too? If you put AWAL in the search box of Google, it's going to take you to a wall.
Yeah, we see.
You got AWAL?
Yeah.
What's it say?
Absent without authorization.
Absent without authorization. They took the AWOL. They went AWOL from Miami. And then they get others to join them from Miami to come where they are, what other state they're in. So they too can become AWOL. It's AWOL. I'm here to destroy. I'm still destroy that wall. I'm measuring that wall. It's Ezekiel. They have no idea what that means. Only the Son of Man could do that. I'm measuring the wall. But you thought you knew what that meant. And even when you see the word furlong, the measure wall for so many furlongs. So I mean, I'm only going to measure that wall for so long. Do you hear what's being said? I'm only going to measure that wall for so long, and after I'm through measuring, then that wall has come down. It's going to be it. Then another wall will come down. The other L is going to come back down and bring a new Jerusalem wall down from above, from our planet, other planet. You don't know what that is. You can't get to it. No space probe can get to it. Not from where we come from. Now go to Revelation chapter 11. Read verse 8. Let me give you the other part of this AWOL. Let me give you the other part of those who left that went AWOL that was hidden in Revelation chapter 11 and read verse 8 so you won't be confused.
Revelation chapter 11 verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also
go ahead.
where also our Lord was crucified.
That was by judicial murder. I put that, I posted that in the post. But you don't know what Sodom and Egypt meant. Right? Although right now you are in spiritual Egypt because Judah's in the same condition that they were in when all the tribes of Israel were over in Egypt with Pharaoh over 3,500 years ago. But only Judah's here in this land in bondage. They're spiritually being called Egypt, which is a similar condition, from that Egypt, physical, surrounded, cannot leave without passing by a port. It's called an ocean now. Even then, you got to have a passing by the port identification to identify yourself as a slave in America. They call it a passport.
Yeah.
They got a nickname, a slick name, not nickname, a slick name for it, a passport. You can't pass a port that you identify yourself as a Negro slave, that you were bought in bondage by with your parents. Others could come from other countries. They don't need a passport. They come by old broken down ships and land on beaches, and then they take them to another camp, and then